So Splatoon 3 just came out and already it's Japan's biggest release. It sold just under 3.5 million in the first 3 days alone, which is fantastic. It beat out every other game Japan's ever had in domestic sales. Now, I never played Splatoon 1 or 2, so 3 is my first game in the series, and I have to say the praise is definitely earned. There were only like very few, if any, problems I had with the game, but even then, I had a very enjoyable time and I look forward to playing this game in the future. Developed by Nintendo, and if you don't know what other games Nintendo made, congratulations, you must be new in the video game world. I hope you enjoy your time. If you haven't heard of Splatoon, well, that makes a little bit more sense, though it would be hard not to hear about it. The first game coming out in 2015 on the Wii U, letting it live for about a little over a year before it realized it died 2 years prior. The game centers around a post-apocalyptic Earth where anthropomorphic marine animals are the dominant species, mostly focusing on the Inklings until 2018, where Octolings also became playable. As previously stated before, I've never played the first or the second one, so I am fairly new to all of this. But is starting with the third entry really good for new players? When has it ever been answered with a yes? Okay, bad example. Let's just dive right in.
Critical.
So to start it, we have to create our own character. I went with the Octoling girl, but changed it to an Inkling girl later on because I got an outfit that I thought looked better on her. I like that you are able to change between the Octoling and the Inkling, so I'm not stuck with the only one choice. We also have a little buddy, and we can only change his hair. I went with the Bebop look, and with that, my character is made. So we have to start with the tutorial, and oh my god, the motion controls! I'm playing with a Pro Controller, why the hell are there motion controls for aiming on the controller? Why are there motion controls by default at the start of the game? Who uses these? I played the tutorial with motion controls and then I promptly turned it off. Yeah, you have to go through this beginning with motion controls because you can't access the menu to change it, which sucks, but honestly, it only takes like 2 minutes as you learn how to play the game, and then you get to a train to the main hub. And also, oh hi there Eiffel Tower. By the way, yeah, apparently this is the Eiffel Tower, and it's never mentioned or brought up again except for maybe somewhere in the story mode. But I'll talk about that in a bit. But for now, you can basically forget you saw any of this.
Move on! Nothing to see here! Please disperse! Nothing to see here, please!
Every time you boot up the game, you're introduced to the Anarchy Splatcast, the live news broadcasting show that introduces the new maps that rotate every few hours, along with the Anarchy battle maps and the Splatfest news. Every Splatoon game has a group of hosts, but this one is unique because it has 3 of them, unlike previous games which only had 2. The ones we have in this game are calling themselves Deep Cut. Shiver, Fry, and Big Man. Big Man and Shiver look fine, I actually really like the designs, but I don't know, for some reason, at certain angles, Fry looks like they messed up her character model.
Him and tell me there's a god. He made me in his own image.
I kind of feel bad for mentioning it, but I mean, look at her. She looks like a me with their eyes all the way down. She looks like a Gary's Mod model glitching.
Where are your rebel friends now?
任天堂 DMCA の準備ができました。
When you first start the game, they reveal that the Great Zapfish was stolen.
Oh no!
I have no idea what that is, but this is apparently the 3rd time it's been stolen, so maybe they should have a better place keeping it besides out in the open. So the first thing you should do is head to the lobby area, where you'll be most of the time, because this is mostly a multiplayer game, and this is where the multiplayer is. Yeah, you're stuck with all the basic stuff till your first match, so head on over there and start a match. Also, you can't join with your friends until your first match, I might add. Alright, we selected a match, now we just have to wait, and oh, that was quick, time for a battle. Yeah, like most Nintendo multiplayer games, the internet connection's not really great. While I wouldn't say I dropped constantly, it was a significant enough number to have me notice it. But hey, at least it's better than the Wii multiplayer, you guys remember that? Now, I did play this game during the pre-launch, and I liked it back then, and I like it now. I first tried using regular guns, but I don't think I was that good with them. Then I tried the paintbrush and the paint roller, and I liked those, so I mostly mained them. Also, during the pre-launch was the first Splatfest, a monthly in-game festival that usually pits 2 teams against each other. each team representing an answer to a question. Like, are you Team Pokemon Red or Team Pokemon Blue? Are you Team Autobots or Decepticons? Team Dog or Team Cat? You know, that kind of choices. In Splatoon 3, there's 3 teams, and the first one was Team Rock, Team Paper, and Team Scissors. Each team is represented by one of the members of Deep Cut. I chose Rock mostly because my brother picked Rock, and I didn't want to be in a team against him during the pre-launch. And guess who won that?
And the winner is Rocky! I have failed!
During the Splatfest, Turf War, which is the main mode, is with 2 different teams pit against each other. Whoever gets the most turf inked with their color wins. There's also 3-way battles called Tricolor Turf Wars, which has the leading team halfway through the event, so for the first one Scissors, as the team of 4 defending the middle, as the other 2 teams of 2 try to take over. In the middle there's an Ultra Signal, which will help increase your team's chances of winning this round. This seems to give the halfway winning team a disadvantage since they can't touch the Ultra Signal, and if one of the other team manages to get it at least twice, they're bound to win. There has been reports of it turning to be extremely unfair for the 4-player team. I don't think that's the case, but again, I was on the winning team, so who knows. I also don't think I played enough of the Tricolor Turf Wars to get a good idea on it, but I completely understand where the concerns are coming from, and I can see how it could be unfair. But I also heard that they are reducing the frequency of Tricolor Turf Wars, so it's more of a one-on-one team battles on the next Splatfest, so we'll see. By the way, I think I'm going to be Team Gear, because you can use Gear to get grub and also potentially make fun stuff. But more importantly, you can make a way to get out of the island with the gear. And so after losing my first few matches, one of them being oh so very close.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because...
We get a Sheldon license that we can use to get new weapons, but where's the weapons shop? Is it in here? Oh hey, welcome to Hotlanty. Wait! No, not yet. You have to be level 4 to shop here. I don't make the rules, just go to the lobby and do a few Turf War battles or whatever, okay? Okay. Well, how about this guy? He seems shady. Hey, if you're offline, I'm offline. Go connect to the internet. Well, okay, I don't even know what the fuck you do here, but whatever. By the way, I seem to drop out a lot when they rotate the maps, which is like every 2 hours, but that's just a small detour. Connect to the internet and talk to him again. You know, I'm not feeling a whole lot of fresh out of you. Oh, fuck you too, you Osmosis Jones background character reject. Ah, you are here. Good. Or not. Tell me, can one below level 4 not see one's own level? The audacity of shopping at such a low level. Come in, come in. Welcome the crushes to... Ooh, you're not looking so fresh. Is everything okay? No, everything is not okay. I keep getting discriminated out of various shops when I just want to buy a gun. Well, I eventually did find him. He wasn't actually that far, and you could just fast travel to the location via the menu. So I got the paint roller, because obvious, and I played a few more games to increase my freshness meter. And with that, my win rate got a lot higher. I mean, look at this. I'm doing it. I'm winning. Look at me cover this base. Yeah! But that's not the only game mode. I know it might seem like it, but it's actually just the most common game mode. There are other things to play, such as Table Turf, a card game that simulates a turf war. Each player plays a card, and he has to ink the most turf. You can only ink in certain shapes depending on the card, and you can't overlap already inked areas unless you have the correct amount of special squares needed. I played this a few times, and I enjoyed this game. Not being the main feature, it's a fun side game to play, and honestly, if there was like a real-life version of this, I would so get it. There's also Anarchy Battles, which rotates 2 different game modes you can play if you get tired of Turf War. Although I never got to play it as I made this review, you have to be at least level 10 to play it, but I'm sure I'm going to get to that really soon, and I'm sure some of those game modes are going to at least be good. There's also Salmon Run, a game mode introduced in Splatoon 2. In Splatoon 2, though, you could only play it like every other day from what I heard. It had very irregular schedules. In Splatoon 3, it's open 24 hours a day. Salmon Run is a 4-player PvE mode where you have to defeat these guys and collect their eggs for a boss who is definitely not an actual bear and definitely not collecting these eggs for any nefarious plans. And you know what? I like this mode too. I played it with my brother as well, although it does get pretty stressful, especially because you can't bring your own weapons, which means sometimes I'm given the bucket as a weapon. But it's still fun. Hey, wait a minute, what's that? Ah! Oh god! Godzilla! Play your Salmonzilla meter rises, which increases the chances of this guy showing up. You have to throw the big eggs back at him to damage him. What I don't like is that there's a time limit to do this, and the only time I faced him, we failed. But it also took me like a minute to figure out how to hit him, so next time I should be good. The only other game mode in this is single player. You start the single player mode by going down this hole that this weird old man who was checking you out in the very beginning of the game was in. Yeah, that seems safe. The old man is screaming that the Octarians, the enemy of the last two story modes, are coming. Again. After he forces us to join him, he gives us a new outfit. I was an Octoling at the start, but I switched to Inkling since then, so it's kind of funny you didn't mention that. Alright, so let's go on this adventure. Hey, what are these weird wall things? Oh. I told you that stuff was trouble. No you didn't, old man. You'd think that should be one of the first things you mention. Find the fuzzy oozes all over the place, touch it, and who knows what will happen. I do. I turned into a kiwi. Also, good job telling me after the fact, you old coot. So I will admit, at the beginning, I was a little underwhelmed. It seemed like a linear do one mission after another and get to the end of the world to fight the boss. It seemed pretty weak, but it seems standard in a multiplayer game like this, and overall passable, although just barely. And then we fight the first boss, and then the whole story expands. Instead of this linear looking area, we get an open area. 6 different sections, and the missions are all being different puzzle-like objectives, and the story mode got way better. You met up with Marie and Callie, the 2 girl hosts from the first game, and your character from the first one being a captain. You have to go save the old man who's been captured by a mysterious man. Some missions are piss easy, like just cover this Eastern Island head in ink. As you progress though, it gets harder and harder. Sometimes it's as simple as get from point A to point B, and sometimes it's, oh, you're on a rail shooter, don't miss the targets, here's a bow, good luck! Some missions you get a choice of weapons, and some weapons will give you more fish eggs. You need these fish eggs to continue. This is kind of my biggest problem with the story mode. See, these eggs are needed in order to progress, and there was a point where I didn't have enough eggs and had to replay levels to get the needed eggs to unlock the path to get to the new levels. And there's no way, as far as I'm aware, to know where the levels were exactly. Just a simple, here's a level you haven't played yet on the map would have helped a lot. And in order to unlock this stuff, like cards for table turf, cosmetic stuff for your lockers, music, and lore stuff, you need to use these eggs to unlock the areas. And you don't really have an idea of which chest is going to have which potentially has you wasting eggs on something you don't want. It's kind of like the crypt in Mortal Kombat. You're forced to walk around and have no idea where what you want is without a guide, so you're stuck spending money on something you don't want. Like, oh great, a Kano fatality. I've never played as him. Great! You also have 3 more bosses to fight, making it 4 in this entire story mode. Deep Cut is here to stop you from collecting treasure, so you have to fight them at certain points of the game. Also, some missions are going to cost eggs for some reason. I have no fucking idea why that's a thing. It's never really that expensive either. I think the most I spent on an entrance fee was like 50 eggs, and that level I ended up getting more than that from the rings and boxes alone. And you get checkpoints and a life system. Yet when you run out of lives, you can just go back to the checkpoint. It costs the same amount as starting the level over, so you might as well just pick the checkpoint every time. What is even the point in the lives if you're just going to respawn at the checkpoint? I know, it's a minor problem honestly, but this game is really good. I needed something to complain about. And I do like how every mission you complete, you get a look at Giga Squid. Overall, Splatoon 3 was really good. If you have a Switch and you're looking for a good game to play in multiplayer, give this a try. You also need Nintendo Online, but I think you just need the minimum $20 a year one, and that doesn't just include Splatoon. You can play other online games. Plus, you have the SNES and the NES catalog, which is pretty much worth the $20 in my opinion. My biggest gripes with the game were the small minor problems I mentioned in the story mode, and the internet connectivity problems. But let me know what you guys think. What was your favorite part about the game? What was your least favorite part? Well, with Splatoon 3 done and Gollum getting delayed, I have time before the next game I want to review comes out, so I can review like an old game. Or a movie. I got a whole bunch of ideas. And hey, if you have a game or a movie you'd like to see me review, why don't you comment it down below? And don't forget to subscribe. It helps me out, and it'll help you by alerting you when my newest videos come out. Until next time, you guys take care. Your mother inks turfs in hell.